Hi, I'm Gerry Kean. I'm the technical director here at Commonwealth Theater. I'm working on a little project called Under the CTC, collaborative project to give kids at home something to do and a project to work on. Now, first, I'd like to say that on this project, I used to always hate when they give me a project on. I'd see a project on TV and I didn't have all the pieces. We know that you're limited on stuff, so pretty much everything in here is improvisable, meaning you can change out whatever you need to do in order to make this work. There's plenty of ways to do that, and I'll give you some ideas. So basically, I want to give you a couple basic ideas. We're going to create an underwater environment, and the materials you need would be a sheet, 2 chairs. The ladderback chairs work the best, but you know, you have what you got. If you just can't make that work, you can even use a blank wall, but the sheet kind of allows us to do some other things that give it some underwater effects. A couple boxes, paint or markers, or I use spray paint because I had a bunch of extra leftover bottles of spray paint, so I use spray paint, but you can use just about anything to color. I'm going to cover a lighting aspect with, I've got a blue Pyrex pan, which you don't necessarily need, but it kind of gives it a blue effect that's kind of cool. Pitcher of water. This is just to have water access. There's other ways of doing it. You can use a cup or anything. It's the pitcher's not the important part. This kind of is. I've got a silver tray here, but you could use a cookie sheet with Reynolds wrap in the bottom of it. It would do the same thing. A fan. I have a fan here, and a flashlight. So let's start with the scenic aspect. What I've kind of done is we're making a cyc. Short for cyclorama. It's just a white or blue piece of fabric. So you take your sheet. You can use white or blue or green. I think any one of those would give you the ocean effect that we're looking for. I've got clamps, but you can use string or tape or anything, whatever any way you can fix it to the chair. So I've just clamped it on there and put this on here like so. And once you do that, you can kind of spread the chairs apart so that it makes it tight at the top. I'll put a broom on the back side of it just to kind of keep it steady back here, just running across the bottom, and maybe you fold it underneath. Like so. Okay, so that's all there is to that. Boom, you got that. That's going to be your background. Then I'm taking boxes. Now what I did is I taped up the sides of the boxes to give us a little more height. If you have bigger boxes, you might not need to do that, but that's what I use. I use packing tape, but you could use duct tape or masking tape, anything. I did have to kind of wrap it around in order to get it to hold well. So then I took and I kind of cut one side of it, the long side, kind of wavy. And then the other side I cut and just kind of some random pointy forms, cylinders and whatnot, just to where it looks kind of organic. This is going to be our coral and our reeds and things like that. This side is actually going to be the back side. I'm kind of got it turned around because I've got it painted and I wanted to demonstrate that. So once you get this cut out, I just use scissors on this. Amazon boxes work great because they're a little bit thinner and easier to cut. So after I did that, I took them, lined them up, and I just put a little spray paint on there. Brighter colors are better. You can spend as much time on this as you want to. If you want to look up some underwater coral and then copy that, that's fine. I didn't. I just kind of wung it. More texture is better. I put some highlights on the sides. Determined my light source was on the left, and put shadows on the right side. So light on that and black on that, and then some greenery in there to give us kind of some seaweed and some underwater foliage. So then you take these and you line them up across the front. Kayla, if you go low and kind of look at this. What we're doing is this is called a ground row. Normally we make these out of wood or paneling or something like that, but we're doing the boxes. So they sit up on their own, so you're just leaving them whole. It kind of gives it a little bit of dimension. That's what the back side is for. You can do anything you want with this. This is your own little world. So however you decide to make that look, that is totally up to you. This is just what I did. So that's pretty much our look. So right now this is our underwater area. So in order to get some waves going, make it a little more dynamic, I've got this fan. You don't have to use a fan. You could have somebody sit over here and wave it. But this is one way of doing it. If you kind of get it, you might have to play with it a little bit, but you get that, and that gives us a little wave effect right there. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. Now, I'm going to add a lighting effect to it. I'm going to show you how to do that. So basically I'm going to take my silver tray, I'll take my pitcher of water, and I'm going to put this in there. And you just don't need a ton of water in there, just enough to kind of cover the bottom a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to take my fan, and instead of pointing it at our fabric, we're going to put it right here on this. You don't need it to totally blow, you just need to disrupt the surface of the water to where we get a little bit of a wave happening. Your fan doesn't have to be on full blast, it just needs to shimmer it a little bit. I'm going to take my flashlight and my blue Pyrex. If you have, let me show you this. This is some blue gel. This is one way of doing it. Most people don't have this on hand. This works, but so I took my pan in order to give it a little blue effect, which I'll show you in just a second. So I'm taking my flashlight. I'm going to shine it through this at the pan of water to where it reflects onto my fabric and onto my set. So if you turn the lights off, please. You can see that we're creating a little bit of a water effect there. All right. So yeah. So you might need to play with this a little bit, adjust where your pan is, how much space you need to be in front of it. And if you do want to add additional light to light the front of it, you just hold it at keep whatever light you have at an angle. Any additional light, preferably something directional, too much light and you lose your effect. So that's it without the blue. And it kind of gives it a little bit brighter, and that works too. If we get the lights turned back on, please. So yeah, that's it. I would love to see what you guys come up with. So send it to us. Send what you come up with. Take this and do what you want with it, and have fun.